discuss with this. Now, this is all at the sum if one criteria, two criteria. Now, this all functionality we will use for average if. We will in a previous session we will discuss with average function. Now we will discuss average underscore if and average ifs. Now, combination of two functions. It's called average plus if, average plus ifs. Sum plus if, sum plus ifs. Ifs, it means that multiple criteria, and simple if that only single criteria. And average, you know about the averages. Average, what is meaning of average? Average is a total number of value. We divide this value, it is called average. Now, we'll go for the average if function. Here, the three criteria. First is range, second is criteria, third is range, average range. You can see here average range. This is an optional part. Why it is an optional part? Because this is in a square bracket. That's why it is in an optional parameter. Now, average range criteria and average range. Here our range is this. For example, we will not do this average if same. Range is same. Sales plus tax, it is our average range, and we'll go for this range. This is our range. Here is a criteria. Criteria is less than or equal to 30 and less than or equal to 30, and average range. Average range is which one is our sum of range. This is a sales plus tax. It is a average range. You can see here this is the average value of this is 4213. 0 to 30 days number of average data is average if functionality. You can use this average if functionality with this data. This is called as average if. Now you can see here first and second range value, that is same as it is. It will be not changeable in the whole the parameter. At that time you can give the relative reference and physical reference. That is a different parameter we will discuss into the another part, but you can do this relative reference and physical reference. Now in this scenario, average if it is okay, fine, that is not an issue. Whenever I'm going from the next part, that is the average ifs function. At that time, we can use if. The second scenario, we will use the average ifs function. Average if function is average range, criteria range 1 and criteria 1. Now the parameter value is changed. You can see here at the first average range. In this parameter, first is a criteria range. You can see here first is your range, then criteria range, then average range. If I want to add it only S, then first parameter is average range, second parameter is criteria range, third parameter is criteria. Now you can see here average range. First is average range. Here is average range. Then criteria range 1. This is our criteria range 1. Our first criteria is greater than or equal to 30. Now the second criteria. We can see our second criteria is this. And second criteria is less than or equal to 60. At that time, you can see here the result is this. Average if is 5717.1513173. This is a very large point. You can decimal increase this decimal or decrease this decimal. You can use this decrease this decimal here. You can also use this decrease this decimal here also. This is useful from. Now the second one is count if. Sorry, this is same as it is. Average ifs. First is average range, second is criteria range, third is criteria 1. You can use this command criteria 1. First is average range. This is our average range. Now the criteria range 1. This is your criteria range 1. And first criteria is less than or equal to 60. Or greater than or equal to 120. This is called divided by zero error. This is Excel error. Why we divided by zero? What is the meaning of divided by zero error? It means that in this scenario, any point, for example, if I write down 3, if I write down 3 divided 5, this is 0.6. That is okay. If I write down 1 divided by 0, that is a error of divided by 0 error. This is come from this error. That's why it's created divided by 0 error. Now you can see here why it is a divided by 0 error, because same argument, same parameter, we will use the greater than or equal to 30 or less than or equal to 120. Here the parameter is different, greater than 60 or less than 120. Now the value will be changed. This is an error, that's why it's created divided by 0 error. Now the next parameter is average ifs greater than 120. In this scenario, you can use only average if, otherwise I have average ifs. Now, average range. This is average range. Criteria range 1. This is your criteria range 1. And criteria 1, this is greater than or equal to 120. You decrease this value and you can convert this value in an average if and average ifs. Now, what scenario you can use the only average if and what scenario you can use the only average ifs. You can now clear. If the argument is between 2, you can use the average if any. It means that 1 or 2 arguments you can use the average ifs. If it is only 1 argument, if it is you can use only average if. Yes, average if it will be work on 1 argument also. You can do the 1 or 2 argument, otherwise as 1 argument also. Now, yes, you know about this is a auto sum value. You can sum this value. This one value is not added in your list. First one value is not added in your list. Copy this value, paste this value. This is called divided by 0 error. If it is divided by 0 error, then copy this value and paste as a value. You can use this value. This is sum this value, auto sum value and sum 36477.8. This is your value. Now you have a clear up idea is average if, sum if, count if. No, count if is not clear. Sum ifs and count. All the function of count. Now we can do one project on basis of count if and sum if and data validation. Now we will create one project, one type of attendance sheet. You can write down here the roll number. Then here we will write down the number of days 1, 2, 3 and so on. It's I think so 30 days in a 1 month. So I will consider as a 30. Here we will write down, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4 roll number. For example, 10 students number. Now we will go for this roll number sheet into format, row heights. It's a auto row heights because only for automatically value we will be different value. That's why it's a auto row height. Now we will write down present space here. Copy this value and paste this value. Paste this value is whole the Excel data, not for this data. Copy this value, go for the last value. Then particular 30 value, you can copy this value. For example, you can do this and copy this value about the 30. You can control V is here. Then presence value is here. If you use the auto row height and auto column width, you can now see your column width is very small. But here the 10, 11 is not. You can see the 10, 11. So auto column width on basis of this. So this is basic auto column width. You can see here now auto column width. In this project, we will use the 3 parameters. First is conditional formatting, then count if, then data validation. So you have clear idea about all these things. Now, This is a presence value. Now we will select all these things, go for conditional formatting, highlight the cell rules equal to, this is AB, and we will highlight it AB value. If any places AB is come, this is a highlighted about in a red color, so we can easily find out this value. Now we will write down AB, otherwise else you can write down A also, then you can put it this value. You can go for the clear rules on selected cell and go for highlight cells equal to A and okay. If I'm right down putting A's any places, yes, this is called proofing option. Proofing is already available, so I'm remove this proofing. In the last session we will discuss with proofing. You know about the what is a proofing. A Ahmedabad, this one is deleted, okay. Then okay, then we will find out A. This is automatically color will be changed. Here is A, here is also A, then write down A. There are lots of places student is absent. That's why it's considered the A value. Here we will write down A. In this places, the color combination is different. Now, present number of day, absent number of day. Presence and absence, this is very important part in the Excel. So, presence value, countif, range, and criteria. This is number of days you will be absent is, sorry, you will be absent is 3. We have to find out the present number of day. This is P. So 27 days you are present, all other day you are absent. But whenever I am dragging this functionality, at that time 29, 29, here is a 28. You can see here the present number of day. Now absent number of days count if, then range, then criteria is absent. You can see here number of days absent is 3 and 3 and 1 and 1 and also 1 and also. You can do this. This is absent number of day. This is present number of day. This is present number of day and this is the absent number of day. Roll number and this is a day wise calculation. Now you can do its presence and absence. This is do this. This is countif and sumif. But this is a very difficult from my side. Go for the 6 and number of present is 29. It's a 29. I think so. It's a 6. This is a 30. B9 to AE9. B9 to AE9. The number of day is count is 30. But in a count if, this is 29. Why it is 29? You can see here one value is AB. Now it's A. This is considered as a 1. This is countif and sumif functionality. I will do this functionality into the manual value, into the manual way. You can use this functionality. This is manual way. You can do this functionality. So countif and sumif, it's very useful functionality from absent present, conditional formatting, and do this functionality from for any condition, from highlighting the value, all these things. It is very useful from your side. This is conditional for, there are lots of functionality in conditional programming, conditional formatting, but we will use on a small functionality. Now, we will go for the data validation now. So we can easily find out data validation list. In this list, roll number 1 to 10. Go for 1 to 10. This is our roll number 1 to 10. And here is our result. If I'm selected 3, the result absent and present students. So how can we will find out the absent present students result? We will find out about the if functionality. We will use the count if functionality. What functionality we will use? Then sum if. We have only if, sum if, count if. All the functionalities here. On the basis of 3, we will find out the value. But at that time, we will use the value about 3, that is called as count if functionality or sum if functionality we will use. Otherwise else we will use the VLOOKUP, but VLOOKUP we will not discuss here. We will use only for count if and sum if. Then count if I am using count if function, so the only for count the range and criteria. Here we will range and criteria is here. Then we cannot use this functionality. This is absent and present. How days absent, how many days is present. This is only range and criteria value. Given the range and criteria, here is a, if I'm select this range and criteria is what, we cannot do this. So at that time, if we will find out the data on according to tree, we will find out with using of VLOOKUP. But at that time, we will not discuss. We will only foresee what is a count if, what is a sum if. If we will clear the rules, any value we will, and okay, we will clear these rules. So clearly deleted. Now it is very highlighted value. Now we will go for the some formatting part. Format as a table. We will do this format as a table and make the table header part. Now you can see here, this is a very interactive part and interactive basis. On basis of this, you can easily find out, easily put out this value. So you can see here how many days is absent, how many days is present you have. So you can easily find out this value on the basis of this one. Now, here it's called as count if, sum if, all these things. Now we will discuss here from text functionality. Text is very basic functionality, but this is a very useful functionality in the Excel also. So this one functionality we will easily find out the value, easily find out the data, so we can use this value into the this format. If I am use this format painter here, we can do the copy and format painter to hold the document. Now we will go for this functionality is the text functionality. We will use this text functionality. What is the meaning of text? Convert a value text into specific number of format. If I'm, for example, this is what is a text? This one is a text or not? This is date. Here is all are the format. Number value, currency value, by default is dollar, short date, long date, time, percentage, fraction, all these values cover. This is a date functionality. If I write down any value, it will be considered as a date or not. Then it will be considered as a date or not date functionality. We will consider that. Now this is date or not. This is a custom function. This one is number. This one is text. Customer number. This is a numeric value, but it will be converted to the text. This one is date functionality. There are different functionalities available. If I write down generally date, at that time we can see here our PC format. This is MMDDYY. If I write down here 23/05/2021, it will be not considered into the date. How we will find out this is not considered into the date? Because you can see here, if it is a date, he put it to the right hand side, not the left hand side. If I would write down 05/23/2021, then you can see here this data will be put out to the right hand side. So you can see that every place, month, date and year, that is come from right hand side. This is not come from left hand side value. So any data is come from the right hand side, this is right place. If it is left hand side, this is go for the left place. This is a wrong place. If any data, it is a number, for example, Nidisha. If it is, I'm write down ABC Private Limited. Then this is a text or number. If it is text or number, you can see here the text functionality here. Number, currency, time, more number of format. By default, it is convert to the general. More number of format it is convert. Here you can see number, currency, date, text format. Here if it is convert to the text format, we will convert to the text. We will convert to the custom format. We will convert to the custom. If it is date format, you can see here it is a date format here. you can convert to the date format. Now different format is available from your side. You can convert in which format. This is only dependent on you. Okay, we will discuss on to the next from text and all functionality